Hello friends, how are you in early 2026? I think this is my first regular update video since my whip parade, the movie. Let me know in the comments if you've seen it, I'm curious. But hi, welcome and welcome back. I am Sen. I am an artist and designer, and this is my little place on YouTube about everything cross-stitch that I get up with. All of the patterns I collect, all of the projects I stitch, all of the patterns I design, all the good things that there is in my life in regards to cross-stitch stuff. If I still sound a little weird, I have still been sick all week. I am doing better. It's mostly gone. I'm sounding a little stuffy, but most of it is just some leftover persistent cold. So we're good and we're good to go for 2026. Finally. So after quite a hell of a week, I'm not gonna get into that because that is a whole lot other kind of worms. I am gonna move straight ahead to cross stitch. I've worked on a few projects, and yeah, I have to admit that I started 2 more projects. Although I digress, it's model stitches, so they are fine. So that brings me over my 100 whips currently, so I better get some finished. But model stitches don't count, right? Because they're work. Or do they? I haven't decided yet. But let's get into it and let's move to my desk. And I'll show you what I've been busy with this past week. Shall we? As in no particular order, because I just have them here next to my desk. What I worked on is the manor. I will show you what it will look like finished. The second right here, and this is this one. This is by Max Patterns on Etsy, though it is no longer available in her shop, unfortunately, because her older patterns were lovely. And let's see, what did I work on? I moved up a little bit. You will see in the before and after exactly what and where I did. I think I moved all the way up to the top corner so I could start my customary top corner start. I don't know why I even started this in the bottom. It's been a while since I started it, actually. So this is where I worked for the most part, and I will do the words are eluding me. That hasn't changed in 2026. The typewriter method on this one, trying to get as much of the strand worked in as possible. So I pulled this one out. And why is the fabric pulling so weirdly? So I pulled this one out, doing a little bit of how am I gonna work on all of my little whips that have been languishing for so long. So I have my Notion list, and I was like, how about I choose the one with the lowest percentage done? And that was this one. So this got a little bit of work. Now it is no longer the lowest percentage done. It is still only sitting slightly below 2%. I did put 758 stitches into this last week. Let's move to the next one. Alright, next in the same fashion, although the other way around, I pulled this because it does have the highest percentage done. So this is at, I believe, 89%. Currently, let me check real quick because I have multiple lists, I'm juggling them. 88.99, so technically 89%. Working on this is a little slower. So I believe I worked in the leaves here. I finished them, I think. Like I finished the tips of the arrows, the arrow singular. And I think I worked in here a little bit. Something, not exactly sure what, but I did do the grays here, and also in the, what is this thing called? It's not a flag, it's, you know, this thing. Let me know what this is called. I know it, but I can't remember the word. Either way, this is what this will look like finished. I'm not stitching the background, so that's why the numbers are probably a little bit off. I'm supposed it's probably lower than 89%. So this is where it is at currently. And I did put, let me see, 323 stitches into it last week. So not overly much, but as this is a full cross, it's going a little slower. But some progress is progress, isn't it? Next I pulled and worked on is this one, Welcome to Erebor by Country Magic Stitch. And I suppose this got the most progress of all the things I picked up last week. I worked on this for 2 days, so you can definitely see some progress from the before and after. This is the back. Here we are. This is where it is currently at. And I'm not gonna do like the accurate math, but I did a little over 1,800 stitches on it, I believe. So this is where it's sitting at currently. I think that looks like some good progress compared to what I did up to my whip parade and on the week in between. But this is where this one is at. So it has moved up to be at 15%, which is not too bad, all things considered. And I will pick this back up. It's very easy and enjoyable to stitch with all the block stitching. And the next one, this also got a little over 1,000 stitches last week. My passion project. So let's see where we are up to with that. So let's see where I'm with this. Lots of background, lots of back. I worked in the background. I grind my teeth, as one does, and put 1,054 stitches of purple, of 211 into the background. I do not know how much difference you can see between what is there now and what was there before. And there will be a lot more stitches of background to come in the following weeks, because I will try my very best to stick to it so I get it done, especially because I want this area here, which is getting bulky because of all of the color changes here and where the hair ends and the background begins, to like even out. So you can see it, possibly see it warps a little bit here, and I need it to even out. So I am gonna try and stick to stitching background until I have finished these. That's almost another page, and then there's 2 more pages and one half, like one, not even half, like a 2-row page. So as soon, like until I finish all of these pages, and then I will return to doing typewriter like up here. But for now, and I did the math because I do kind of want this done. No, not done. I want this at done is possible, but not possible if I want to stitch on anything else. I want this to be at 50% by the end of the year. And I did some math, or my calculator did, but I did the typing. How many stitches I need to do a week if I want to get to 50%. And I do need to do 1,020 stitches every week on this to be at 50% by the end of the year. It currently is at, I believe 29 percent. And this is large. It has like a total of 242,500 stitches. So that considered, that is a lot of work, but we will do it. And with that, we have 2 new starts left that we will get into in a moment. So, new start number 1, and technically this is already a sneaky new start from earlier this year, like from before my whip parade. I just haven't shown it to you yet. This is also a first sneak peek at next month's Patreon pattern, already for Valentine's Day. So, also sorry if I do some little pauses, like my voice is still a little bit wonky, recovering and all that. but maybe you can, maybe you remember like the little dragons. I thought I might as well bring them over from the Bloodlines pattern to this one. I do not have a printed out picture what this will look like yet, but this is the size. Like, it is mirrored in the middle. Like, it's not a mandala, it's just a mirrored little thing. So you have the two dragons, you have some hearts here, and then like the ornaments on the side that will also be on this side, and some little text here. So this is on 16 count. It's no, not on 16 count, on 32 count. So 2 over 2, which makes a 16 count size. And this is just a cute little Valentine's Day themed. Maybe you could also call it an update of my like original Valentine's Day dragons, although they will stay available. That I did, I think 2 years ago now. So this is what I'm currently working on. Maybe I will manage to finish it by the end of January. It's not too large, it should be doable. This one has, well, I didn't put the, yeah I did. It has 1,548 stitches in total. So it's small, it really is. And I'm already 35% done. So that will be this one. And we have one more that I'm going to show you now. Final one is going to be part of a new, I wouldn't necessarily say just pattern, it's more like a little collection that I'm already working on for the summer. Doing some citrus patterns. This is one of them, one of 2 that I already made. I'm working on the 3rd. And this was supposed to be a coaster, but which is also why I already cut the fabric here, because obviously when I make it into a coaster, we'll just cut it all around and then put it into the coaster. The problem that I was not aware of, and that's something that frequently happens to me, is that, oh my god, I'm shaking the camera, that I just assumed that this was a 14 count because it looked like a 14 count to me, and I didn't measure it with other fabrics that I am certain are 14 count. I do not know if this is 11 or if this is just, because it's not much bigger than a 14 count. I think might have been a 14 count at one point that just got stretched, or it is an 11. I really need like a measuring tool for fabric. So what I'm getting at, the problem is this obviously not being an exact 14 count makes it too large to fit into the coaster. Am I going to redo it? No, because I do not have different fabric for this that would fit the coaster. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to finish this as is, like real size as is, like with this little margin that I have, and then I would just glue it onto like a foam board or a cardboard, just like this, right? And then just put it onto a larger board with some citrusy fabric that I still have to pick out, and just make it into a, I don't know, display for the wall or something. I don't know. I will figure out a fully finish for this one. That is not a coaster. But just know it's technically supposed to be a coaster if it were an actual 14 count. So that was a bummer yesterday, among other things. But that is my final whip of last week, like my final piece that I worked on. Oh yeah, how much did I do on it? This is also a tiny piece. It will have 1,344 stitches. I'm 28% done with the measly 383 stitches I did yesterday on it. And I think, yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So that is this one. And I will show you like the other ones when I start working on them. That will go with this. But for now, shall we move back around and yeah, do a wrap up of this week. And I am back. So this was my whips for the week, and that's pretty much all that I worked on. It's not too bad, I'd say, like with the full coverages, that's a good amount of collected stitches. And now I will have to see what I get up to with this week. I will obviously continue working on the model stitches. Maybe I'm gonna make this an all model week, well, apart from passion, because as I told you earlier, this needs to get 1,020 stitches every week if I want to reach my goals for it. So I will see if I can at least keep up with that singular goal this year. Well, I haven't bought anything yet that it's not for work, like for model stitching. So far we're good with that. No spend, but we'll see. I did already break my 100 whips rule, and it's only the 12th of January. Now that went well. But here we are, and if you enjoyed seeing what I did and how very good I am with keeping my own rules intact, well then, leave me a comment in the description below. What are your goals for 2026? Are you on a no spend as well? Shall we do a no spend together, keep ourselves accountable? Or are you doing like a no new start? Because if you are, kudos to you, that's crazy. As in, no offense, crazy, but I could never not do a new start for an entire year. But also let me know, what's your favorite of this week's showcase? What have you been working on while you've been watching, if you have been stitching? I think this video is not overly long. And if you enjoyed, please do leave me a like and subscribe. And if you haven't watched my whip parade yet and you're into whip parades as much as I am, go back to the previous video, give that a look. It's long. Get yourself some snacks and a drink, a hot one if you're like me in the northern hemisphere and it's cold and windy and rainy and dreary and all of those nasty shenanigans. Or like, I don't know, a mojito or other nice cold cocktail or whatever you fancy if you're down south. So until then, my friends, I will see you hopefully fresh and bright next week. And until then, enjoy your stitching. Bye bye.